President Biden is weighing in on this, talking about what that violent scene could mean for those ongoing, painstaking negotiations that have been underway for a ceasefire that I should note earlier this week, President Biden predicted could happen as soon as Monday.
We know what happened in Gaza City. More than 100 civilians were killed.
We're checking that out right now. There's two competing versions of what happened. I don't have an answer yet.
Are you worried that that will complicate these negotiations?
I know it will.
He's not saying that he is predicting it could. He says he knows that it will affect these negotiations that have been underway, come close and fallen apart. Just this week, the president witnessed the impact that his handling of this war could have on his political chances come November. I sat down exclusively with Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders to talk about that reality and what he thinks should happen next. Senator, thank you for being here. It's great to sit down with you. We saw the Democratic primary play out in Michigan, and over 100,000 voters voted uncommitted in a protest of how President Biden has handled the war that Israel is waging in Gaza. Is that a warning sign to the White House in your view?
I think it is. I think all over this country, people are looking at what's going on in Gaza and really cannot believe what they're seeing. It's not only that 30,000 Palestinians have been killed and 70,000 wounded, 2/3 of whom are women and children. But, Caitlin, what we are looking at this moment is the starvation of hundreds of thousands of children. And that is because of Israeli bombardments, and that is because of the restrictions at the border preventing humanitarian aid from getting in. This is absolutely unacceptable. And in my view, I've said this a million times, the United States should not be giving Netanyahu and his extreme right-wing government another nickel for their war efforts that are killing so many innocent Palestinians.
When the White House says, we're listening to these voters who have that same exact concern that you do about the aid that is going to Israel with no restrictions on it, the president has sent campaign aides to talk to Arab Americans. He's sent White House officials, including national security aides. But should he himself be having these conversations directly?
It's not whether it's him or his aides. It's what the policy is. That's what's important. And what the president has got to do, in my view, is tell Netanyahu, sorry, you're not getting another nickel of U.S. taxpayer money to murder women and children in Gaza. That has to be a major change in the Israeli policies. It has a lot to do with the two-state solution and where we go at the end of this war.
If he doesn't do that, do you think those 100,000 voters won't come home in November?
Well, nobody can speculate it. Nobody knows. You haven't talked to 100,000 of them lately, have you? Nobody has. But I do think this. The contrast between Biden and Trump is pretty clear, and I think most of those people who voted for uncommitted understand that. Biden has done, by and large, a good job for working people. He understands that climate change is real. And on the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who is a pathological liar, who wants to deny every woman in America the right to control her own body, who doesn't even understand that climate change is real. So I think the choice is clear, but I think there are a lot of people who are upset about the president's policies regarding the war in Israel.
You've been really outspoken in calling for a ceasefire, and you're a champion of policies on the left. Everyone witnessed your runs for president. You, though, have also faced some of what President Biden has when he's out speaking publicly, which is people calling for ceasefires or calling for you to call it a genocide, something that you have not.
Yeah, I know. That's true. But I don't know that we want to be arguing whether it's a mass slaughter or a genocide. It's kind of a technical term that the International Court of Justice is looking at. Look, the real issue is, with 30,000 dead and 70,000 wounded and hundreds of thousands of children starving to death, I would hope that every sane American wants this war ended and ended right now. And that's the role that the United States has got to play. And we have a special role because we have supported Israel for many, many years, $3.5 billion in military aid every year. And now there are those in Congress who want to give them another $10 billion to continue this war. So I think the goal right now is for us to rally around the effort to say no more military aid for Netanyahu in this terrible war.